it's Hailey, and today I'm going to be talking about the book series that I need to finish or get caught up on. So, a couple of things before I get started. First of all, you guys were expecting a book haul today. I'm sorry, but that should be coming next week, hopefully. Fingers crossed. It's just out of my control when it goes up right now, but I'm hoping it'll be up very soon. Second thing is that my setup is a little bit different. So the only thing that you guys would notice is that the books in the background have changed, but I actually am facing where I used to film. So if you guys watched my last reading vlog, then you saw that I got another bookshelf, which is this shelf right here, this lovely little guy. So now I have 3 full-size shelves as well as 1 little shelf. If you guys wanted to know what kind of shelves these are, it's in the description box. I always have it there, but people still ask me all the time because no one reads the description anyways, but I put it there anyways. But now everything has shifted in my room, so my bookshelves are now on the opposite wall, which is why I'm here, and the lighting might be bad because this is the first video that I'm filming here, so I haven't really sorted it all out yet. So I'm sorry about that, but I had totally thought that I had done this video before, but it turns out I've never done this video before. I've done series that I won't be finishing, but I've never done series that I still have to finish or get caught up on. And basically what I mean by that is I'm only going to be talking about books where the sequels are published already. So if there's a series that I've started but the sequels aren't out yet, I won't be talking about that in this video. I'm only going to be talking about series where there are sequels out that I haven't read yet, or maybe even the entire series is out and I've only read 1 or 2 of the books. So I have 9 series to talk about today, so let's just get into it. So I'm going to start off with the series where I have the sequels on my TBR. So first of all is the Queens of Renthia series, which starts with The Queen of Blood by Sarah Beth Durst. So I still have to read the sequel, which is The Reluctant Queen, and are these covers not the most gorgeous things in the world? They are beautiful. This is a super cool fantasy series that deals with the different elements. It's amazing, and I love the characters in it. I loved how the first one went, and I listened to it on audiobook, so I will likely be listening to this one on audiobook as well, and I'm hoping to get to it very, very, very soon. To be fair, this one did come out quite recently, so I do still have some time to pick it up before it's like, Hailey, you need to pick it up now. It is ridiculous that you've waited this long. But it is definitely one that I want to prioritize since I really enjoyed the first book, and I feel like the second book will be amazing as well. And just these covers, I seriously can't get over them. And this one has a dragon on it. Amazing! Also, I feel like no one really talks about this series that much, and that might be because it's kind of an adult fantasy, YA fantasy crossover, but it's really good and I recommend it. Next is the 3 Dark Crowns series by Kendara Blake, which I really need to read the sequel, One Dark Throne. This once again is one that came out recently, so I don't feel too bad about it, and it's actually another one that I'm going to listen to the audiobook for. I actually just have to finish my current audiobook and then I will be moving on to this one, but I'm very excited to read it because I liked this one, but it's one of those books where it was the more I thought about it, the more I enjoyed it. However, while reading it, it was a little bit slow and it really just built up and set up for the sequel, so I feel like the sequel has the potential to be absolutely incredible, and I'm hoping that it will reach that potential. And this is a really dark YA fantasy that follows these triplets, and they are all vying to be queen. Only one of them can be queen and the other 2 have to die for their survivor to become queen. If that doesn't hook you, I really don't know what will, because they've got powers, there's a naturalist, a poisoner, and it's just like all these things going on. It is crazy. There's also an elemental, which I almost forgot. So each of the queens has a different power and they're trying to kill each other basically, like you have to kill your sisters. So that's crazy, and I can't wait to read this. I feel like it's gonna be amazing. Also, once again, these covers are gorgeous. My only complaint is they pick up all my dirty fingerprints. So this one is like relatively untainted because I haven't handled it that much, but this one looks like it's been like absolutely destroyed. I'm so sorry, you're beautiful. Next up is the Fallen Kingdom series by Morgan Rhodes, which I need to read all the rest of the books. I feel like there's like 6 and maybe the 7th is coming out. I don't know. I'm very behind on it. But I do own the sequel, Rebel Spring, and I also own Gathering Darkness, but it's somewhere. I don't know where it is. And I really do want to continue with this series. It's kind of like the YA version of Game of Thrones, which is super cool and brutal, and it has multiple points of view, so you get to know all the different characters, so it really reads like an epic fantasy. Also, it's by a Canadian author, so I really want to get into it, but I haven't continued with it yet because I feel like I need to reread this one in order to read this one, because I listened to this one on audiobook twice and I still don't really remember what happened. So it's not really a book that I can listen to the audiobook for quite clearly, so I'm hoping to physically read it very soon so then I can move on with the series, because this is just ridiculous now. I don't own the sequel for this one, but I felt like it would be weird if I didn't mention it now video, but the next book is A Book of Spirits and Thieves by Morgan Rhodes. This is kind of a companion series to the other one. They don't really, from my knowledge, have to do with each other than the fact that they take place partially in the same world, but this one is also partially in modern day Toronto. So since it takes place somewhere that I'm familiar with and in Canada, I really want to continue with it, and I did really enjoy this one. This one I listened to the audiobook and I felt like I retained it all and it was a good audiobook, so I don't know why I've been putting this one off. I have no explanation. Next up is Frostblood by Ellie Blake, which is also by a Canadian author, actually a local author, and I really need to pick up the sequel Fireblood, which, to be fair, I just acquired over the past like couple of weeks. I got an ARC and then I actually got a finished copy. But I did enjoy this book. It's really cool fantasy, kind of Red Queen-esque, and in the same vein as Red Queen, it's not the most original book that I've ever read in my life, but it was enjoyable. It kind of gives you a little bit of Frozen vibes too, which is cool. But it follows this girl who lives in this world where Frostbloods rule. They are the end-all and be-all, and she is a Fireblood, and she has been hiding that because it is not allowed. So her life is in danger just because she doesn't have the snowy powers, she instead has the hot powers. But she ends up getting caught as a Fireblood, and the book follows the fallout from that. I think I'm going to need to read a little bit of a recap on this one just to refresh my memory before diving into this one, but I'm hoping to get to it very soon. Next is The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. So I have also read The Heart of Betrayal, which is the second book, but I definitely need to reread it before I pick up the final book, The Beauty of Darkness, and I especially want to get to this one very soon because one, I really enjoyed this series. It's awesome. The first book was absolutely amazing. You follow this girl who is princess and she's set to marry this guy, but she ends up fleeing on her wedding day, and there are two people who are following her. One is the prince she was supposed to marry, and the other is an assassin who was sent to kill her. But throughout the first book, you don't know which one is which, so you're trying to figure out who's who, and it is so fun and amazing. Now, I really need to get to this one very soon because there is kind of a companion series that's set in the same universe as these that is coming out in 2018, and it sounds amazing, and I really want to read it, so I need to get on it and get caught up with these. Also, once again, beautiful covers! And the final three books are ones that I don't own the sequel yet, but I will be picking it up very soon, and the first one is This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. The sequel to this Dark Duet, or just the Dark Duet? Dark Duet? I know it's something Dark Duet, but I don't know what the article ahead of that is. But I have been eyeing it at work for the past little bit, and I definitely do want to pick it up. This takes place in a world with monsters, and you follow two characters. One is human technically, but acts kind of more like a monster, and then the other one is a monster technically, but acts more like a human. So it's kind of a series that explores the difference between good and evil and where those differences lie, and if that barrier is really as black and white as it seems. And I really love books that probe at that kind of uncomfortable gray area in between those two things. So this is definitely a series that I want to continue with, and it kind of would have been perfect to read around Halloween, but you guys know my October TBR was already way too big, so I might be waiting a year to read it and saving it for next October. Next is The Conspiracy of Us by Maggie Hall. The only reason that I haven't picked up the sequels for this one, and first of all, the only one was out, and the last one, I believe it's a trilogy, came out recently, but I haven't wanted to pick them up because I got this book on bargain. So whenever I buy a first book on bargain, I'm so hesitant to get the second book for full price because I'm like, I got the first book for bargain and it just feels wrong to spend full price on the other one. So that's really the only reason why I haven't, because this was a delightful surprise with how much I enjoyed it. It's all about like the secret society, and this girl finds out she's part of it, and it's just Pooh. I think the sequel is Map of Fates. I don't remember, and it doesn't say in here. That's either the sequel or the name of the most recent one. I don't really know, but I definitely want to just suck it up and get to it soon and pay full price for it because it was really good. And finally is A Study in Starlight by Brittany Cavallaro. This one I feel like I can give myself a pass on because I literally just finished reading this like not even a week ago. So I didn't want to pick up the sequel, The Last of August, yet because I've become very picky with which series I decide to continue. Since there's so many books out there that I want to read, I kind of need to be picky. So if I didn't absolutely love a book in a series and I don't really feel like I want to know more about the characters, then I won't continue with the series. I'll just let it be at the one book and just leave it there. I used to buy the first book and then buy the rest of the series just because I was like, oh hey, I'll probably want to read them. And then a lot of times I would end up unhauling them anyways, so I haven't been doing that lately, which is why I didn't pick up the sequel for this one, which is The Last of August. But since I enjoyed this one so much, I do plan on continuing with the series. It's a really awesome Sherlock Holmes retelling with a female Sherlock Holmes, and we have a male Watson as per usual, but I loved the dynamics between the two of them, and it was an overall really enjoyable Halloween mystery read. And I feel like the second one will be much the same, so I do very much want to get to it. So those are all of the series that I have to finish. Like I said, I'm very picky now with which series I choose to finish because there's just so many books and so little time. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe. I put out new videos every Monday and Thursday right now. After November, when I'm planning on doing NaNoWriMo, I might start doing videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I don't really know. I'm kind of experiencing a YouTube midlife crisis. And if you guys wanted to follow me on other social media where I might not be experiencing a midlife crisis, you can follow my Twitter and Instagram. They're linked down below for you guys, but my Twitter handle is at @HailesandBookland, and my Instagram handle is at @HaileyandBookland, just like my YouTube, but like I said, it's down below. Also, it should be on the screen, unless I forget. And one more thing, if you wanted to make absolutely sure that you don't miss any of my videos, then click the little bell icon. That way you'll get notifications whenever I post, because apparently some people haven't been getting videos in their subscription boxes lately, which sucks. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Let me know which series you still have to finish, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!